Have you ever wondered why the same patterns keep showing up in your life, year after year, no matter how hard you try to change them? Why does prosperity always seem to dance just beyond your fingertips, promising to arrive but never quite making it to your doorstep? If you're watching this video right now, it's not by accident. Something deep within you knows that this December is different. There's an energy stirring, a shift in the atmosphere that goes beyond the twinkling lights and holiday. Celebrations. It's the energy of transformation, of breakthrough, of finally stepping into the abundance that has always been meant for you. Has this ever happened to you? You set intentions at the beginning of the year, you work hard, you follow all the right advice, and yet somehow by December, you find yourself in the same place you were 12 months ago. The bank account looks similar. The relationships feel familiar. The challenges seem to repeat themselves like a song stuck on repeat. It's exhausting, isn't it? That hamster wheel of effort without the results you deeply desire. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Here's what most people don't understand about prosperity and manifestation. We've been approaching it from entirely the wrong direction. We've been taught that abundance comes from doing more, working harder, pushing through resistance. But what if I told you that the most powerful transformation you could ever experience doesn't require any of that? What if prosperity isn't something you chase, but something you become? December carries a frequency unlike any other month of the year. While the world around you is wrapping up, closing chapters, and preparing for endings, there's a hidden opportunity that most people completely miss. This is the month when the veil between who you've been and who you're meant to become grows thinner. It's the portal moment, the sacred crossroads where everything can shift in an instant. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share with you will completely revolutionize how you understand wealth, abundance, and your own creative power. This isn't another manifestation technique to add to your already overflowing spiritual toolbox. What you're about to discover is far more fundamental, far more powerful than any technique could ever be. You see, there's a part of you that already knows how to attract prosperity effortlessly. A version of yourself that doesn't struggle, doesn't question, doesn't wait for permission to live abundantly. This version has been waiting patiently in the background of your consciousness, and this December is when you finally step fully into that identity. The two words I'm going to reveal to you today have the power to collapse time, to bridge worlds, to fundamentally rewire your relationship with abundance. But they only work when you understand the deeper truth beneath them, when you grasp the principle that makes them so transformative. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. The path behind you is familiar, comfortable, predictable, but deep down, you know it's not taking you where you truly want to go. And the path ahead whispers promises of something you've never quite experienced before. Not the fleeting excitement of a temporary win, but the deep, unshakable knowing that prosperity is your natural state. Most people spend their entire lives believing that transformation is a long, arduous journey. They think breakthrough moments are reserved for the lucky few, or that abundance requires years of struggle and sacrifice. But here's the hidden truth that changes everything. The most profound shifts in human consciousness don't happen gradually. They happen in an instant. In a single moment of recognition, everything you thought you knew about yourself and your capacity can completely dissolve, making way for a reality you never imagined possible. Think about the moments in your life when everything changed suddenly. Perhaps it was a decision you made that altered your entire trajectory, or a realization that hit you like lightning, reframing your entire understanding of a situation. These quantum leaps didn't require months of preparation. They required one thing: clarity. Decisive, unshakable clarity about who you are and what belongs to you. December isn't just the final month on your calendar. It carries a vibration, an energetic signature that's entirely unique. While others see it as a time of endings and reflections, there's something much more powerful happening beneath the surface. This month holds a frequency of completion, yes, but also of revelation. The energy of December creates a bridge between states of being, a portal that allows you to step from one version of yourself into another without the gradual transition you've been conditioned to expect. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to continue this journey with me. What we explore here is designed to create real shifts in your consciousness, not just give you more information to consume. Can you feel it? That restlessness? That sense that something is shifting inside you even as you watch this video? It's not just the external world preparing for a new year. It's your inner world recognizing that you've outgrown the identity you've been carrying. The version of yourself that accepts limitations, that plays small, that waits for permission to claim what's already yours. That version is ready to be released. And waiting in the wings is someone you've always known existed, but perhaps never fully embodied. The you that lives in natural abundance, that attracts prosperity effortlessly, that moves through the world with unshakable confidence. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because understanding the mechanics of transformation is what separates those who experience fleeting moments of inspiration from those who create lasting, extraordinary change. Behind the scenes of every significant breakthrough in human experience, whether it's financial freedom, profound relationships, vibrant health, or creative expression, there's a pattern that most people never recognize. The transformation doesn't begin with changing circumstances. It begins with a fundamental shift in perception, in identity, in the very core of how you see yourself in relation to everything you desire. Write in the comments, "I'm ready for December's breakthrough," if you can feel something shifting in you right now. What most people don't realize is that they've been approaching prosperity from completely the wrong angle their entire lives. We've been conditioned by society, by well-meaning parents, by traditional education systems to believe that abundance is something we earn through hard work and struggle, that we need to prove ourselves worthy before the universe grants us what we desire. So we chase opportunities, we hustle relentlessly, we push against resistance, believing that if we just do enough, try hard enough, sacrifice enough, prosperity will finally arrive at our doorstep. But here's the revelation that completely upends everything you've been taught. Doing more doesn't create transformation. In fact, the constant doing, the endless striving, the perpetual proving often keeps what you desire at a distance. Because behind all that frantic activity is an unspoken belief, a hidden assumption that whispers, "I don't have it yet, and I need to work harder to get it." And that energy, that frequency of lack and separation, becomes the very thing that blocks your prosperity. The real secret, the one that master creators throughout history have understood, is that transformation doesn't happen through accumulating more techniques or strategies. It happens through a fundamental shift in your state of being. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are. Your state of being is like the soil in which all your desires either flourish or wither. You can plant the most beautiful seeds, water them with affirmations, fertilize them with vision boards, but if the soil itself is depleted, if your inner state is rooted in unworthiness or scarcity, those seeds will never fully bloom. Think of your consciousness as the architect of your reality. Everything you experience in the physical world, every circumstance, every relationship, every financial situation, is first created in the invisible realm of your inner landscape. Your thoughts, beliefs, and most importantly, your sense of identity form a template, a blueprint that the external world uses to construct your experiences. This isn't mystical thinking or wishful philosophy. It's a fundamental principle of how reality operates. The outer is always reflecting the inner with perfect precision. When you truly grasp this principle, you realize that trying to change your external circumstances without first addressing your internal state is like rearranging furniture in a house while the foundation is crumbling. You might create temporary improvements, brief moments where things seem better. But inevitably, you'll find yourself back in familiar patterns because the underlying structure hasn't changed. The impact of this understanding is profound because it means you have far more power than you ever imagined. You're not a victim of circumstances waiting for the world to change. You're the creator, the broadcaster, the one setting the frequency that determines what enters your experience. Now let me show you exactly how this works in your everyday life, because understanding the mechanics of this principle transforms everything about how you approach December and the prosperity you're ready to claim. The journey from where you are to where you want to be isn't about crossing vast distances or overcoming impossible obstacles. Type in the comments, "I am the creator," if this perspective is starting to shift how you see your own power. It's about recognizing that the distance you perceive is an illusion created by how you've been looking at reality itself. Imagine for a moment that your consciousness works exactly like a movie projector in a theater. The projector sits in the back of the room, casting images onto a blank screen. Now, if you don't like what you're seeing on that screen, if the movie isn't to your liking, would you go up to the screen and try to rearrange the images with your hands? Of course not. That would be absurd. You'd go back to the projector, change the film, adjust the lens. Yet this is precisely what most people do with their lives. They see poverty, struggle, and limitation on the screen of their external reality, and they frantically try to rearrange those circumstances without ever addressing the projector of consciousness that's creating them in the first place. Your inner state is constantly broadcasting, constantly projecting onto the canvas of your physical experience. And here's what makes this so powerful. The screen doesn't have opinions about what's being projected. It doesn't judge, doesn't resist, doesn't question. It simply reflects back with perfect accuracy whatever the projector shows it. Your external world operates the same way. It's a neutral mirror, showing you not what is objectively true for everyone, but what you hold to be true within the depths of your own consciousness. This is why two people can be in identical situations and have completely different experiences. One person sees opportunity everywhere, while another sees only obstacles. One feels abundant with modest means, while another feels impoverished despite wealth. The circumstances aren't determining the experience. The inner state, the consciousness doing the projecting, is creating the reality each person lives in. And here's the revelation that changes absolutely everything about your relationship with prosperity. What you've been desperately seeking isn't actually missing. The abundance, the confidence, the peace, the financial freedom you desire isn't somewhere out there waiting to be hunted down and captured. It's not a prize you need to earn through suffering or a reward for finally becoming good. Enough. The truth is far more beautiful and far more immediate than that. Everything you desire is already within you, not as potential that might someday develop if you work hard enough, not as possibility that could manifest if the stars align, but as present reality, here and now, waiting only for your recognition and acknowledgement. Your journey isn't about becoming someone new or acquiring something foreign to your nature. It's about remembering what you've temporarily forgotten, about clearing away the layers of conditioning and false beliefs that have been obscuring your true identity. Think about it this way. You can't desire something that doesn't already exist within your consciousness in some form. The very fact that you can conceive of greater abundance, that you can feel the longing for prosperity, that you can imagine a life of freedom means those realities already live inside you. They're not fantasies or wishful thinking. They're echoes of your true nature calling you home to yourself. Now, I want to reveal to you the exact mechanism that keeps most people locked out of this truth, because once you see it clearly, you'll understand why December represents such a powerful opportunity for transformation. Drop in the comments, "I remember who I am," if this is resonating with something deep inside you. The mechanism that keeps people trapped in cycles of wanting without receiving is surprisingly simple, yet almost everyone misses it completely. They focus entirely on changing what they do while their fundamental sense of identity remains exactly the same. They adopt new habits, learn new strategies, apply new techniques. But underneath all that activity, they still see themselves as someone who doesn't have what they want. And that identity, that core sense of self, is what determines everything. Look closely at anyone who's created extraordinary results in any area of life, whether it's someone who built exceptional wealth from nothing or healed from a supposedly incurable condition, or attracted a love that seemed impossible, or created work that changed the world. Behind the scenes of their success, you'll find the same pattern every single time. Before the external evidence appeared, before the circumstances shifted, before the money showed up or the relationship materialized, something changed within them. Their energy transformed. Their presence in the world became different. The way they carried themselves, the decisions they made, the quiet confidence they radiated, all shifted first. They didn't wait for success to feel successful. They didn't postpone feeling abundant until the bank account reflected it. They didn't hold back their most powerful self until conditions improved. They made a decision, often in a single moment, to embody the identity of the person who already had what they desired. And then, almost like magic, but actually through precise universal law, their external reality reorganized itself to match that new internal state. This is the hidden truth that the manifestation industry doesn't want you to understand, because if you truly got it, you wouldn't need to keep buying courses and techniques and tools. You'd realize that you are the tool, not your vision board, not your affirmations, not your crystals or rituals or manifestation journals. You, your state of being, your frequency, your embodied presence in the world. That's what creates your reality with every breath you take. When this revelation truly lands in your consciousness, everything about how you approach life transforms. You stop asking, "What do I need to do to get what I want?" and start asking, "Who do I need to be to naturally attract what I want?" You stop seeking outside yourself for the next technique that will finally work and start recognizing that the power has always been within you. You shift from doing to being, from chasing to embodying, from hoping to knowing. If something shifted inside you during this video, leave a like. It's your way of acknowledging to yourself that you're ready for this transformation. The impact of this shift can't be overstated. It's the difference between spending your life as a perpetual student of manifestation, always learning but never quite arriving, and becoming a master creator who understands that your very existence is the creative force. You're not using tools to manifest. You are the manifestation itself, continuously creating your experience through the state you choose to inhabit. Now, let me show you exactly how to make this shift in a way that's practical and immediate. Because understanding these principles intellectually is one thing, but embodying them is where the real transformation happens. Write in the comments, "I am the frequency," if you're ready to stop seeking and start being. The shift from seeking to being isn't a journey across vast distances. It's not a marathon you need to run or a mountain you need to climb. The gap you perceive between who you are right now and the prosperous, abundant version of yourself you dream about isn't actually a gap at all. It's a trick of perception, a mirage created by the way you've been taught to see reality. That version of you living in complete financial freedom, moving through the world with unshakable confidence, attracting opportunities effortlessly, experiencing life from a place of overflow rather than scarcity. That person isn't waiting for you somewhere in the distant future. They're not a reward you'll receive after years of hard work and sacrifice. That version of you exists right here, right now, in this present moment. Not as fantasy or imagination, but as potential that's already fully formed, simply waiting for your recognition and embodiment. Think of it like this. Within you, right now, exist infinite versions of yourself, infinite possibilities of who you can be. Each one is equally real, equally available. The only thing determining which version you experience is the one you choose to identify with, the one you decide to embody through your thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, your sense of self. You're not becoming someone new. You're choosing which already existing aspect of yourself to activate and express. And this is where December's unique energy becomes so incredibly powerful. Can you feel it? That restlessness that's been building, that gentle but persistent voice inside whispering that something needs to change, that you're meant for more than what you've been settling for. It's not your imagination. It's not dissatisfaction or ingratitude. It's your soul's way of telling you that you've outgrown the limitations you've been accepting as reality. December isn't just the end of a calendar year. It's a threshold moment, an energetic portal where the veil between who you've been and who you're meant to become grows thinner. The universe is quite literally calling you upward, inviting you to elevate your consciousness, beyond the small story you've been telling yourself about what's possible for you. And the beautiful thing about this calling is that it's not asking you to become worthy of it. It's reminding you that you already are. For too long, you've been waiting for permission. Permission to dream bigger, to want more, to claim the prosperity that's yours by birthright. You've been playing a smaller version of yourself, dimming your light, settling for less than what makes your heart sing, because somewhere along the way, you absorb the belief that abundance isn't for people like you. But what if that entire belief system was just a story, a narrative you inherited but never chose for yourself? Now, I want to reveal to you the exact moment when everything shifts, when the perception changes, and suddenly you see clearly what's always been true. Share in the comments, I give myself permission, if you're ready to stop playing small and step into your full power this December. The moment everything shifts is when you recognize that your perception isn't showing you objective reality. It's creating your reality. The lens through which you view yourself and the world isn't a passive observer. It's an active constructor, a filter that determines what enters your experience and what remains invisible to you. When you look at life through the lens of scarcity, you literally cannot see abundance even when it's standing right in front of you. Someone could offer you an incredible opportunity, but if your perception filter is set to not for people like me, you won't even recognize it as an opportunity. You'll dismiss it, rationalize why it won't work, find reasons to stay exactly where you are. It's not that the opportunity wasn't real. It's that your lens made it invisible to you. But when your perception shifts, when you begin to see yourself as someone who naturally attracts prosperity, who belongs in spaces of abundance, who is worthy of extraordinary experiences, suddenly the entire landscape of your life transforms. The opportunities were always there. The possibilities always existed. But now you can actually see them. Now you can receive them. Your perception has expanded, and with it, your reality expands. Seeking, the entire universe reorganizes itself to match that new signal. Different people come into your life. Different opportunities become visible. Different circumstances unfold. Not because you manipulated reality, but because you changed the transmission, and reality responded accordingly. And here's where we reach the threshold of true spiritual mastery. Anyone can want prosperity badly. Anyone can learn manifestation techniques and follow them diligently. Anyone can visualize their dreams and create vision boards and repeat affirmations. But there's a profound difference between all of that and what I'm pointing you toward. True mastery is the capacity to shift your state of being without needing external circumstances to validate that shift first. It's embodying prosperity before you see it in your bank account. It's carrying yourself with the confidence of success before you have the credentials. It's feeling abundant before the evidence appears. This is what separates conscious creators from perpetual seekers. Seekers wait for reality to change before they allow themselves to feel different. Creators change how they feel, shift who they're being, and then watch reality reorganize itself to match. This is the leap that most people never make because it requires you to trust something you can't yet see. It asks you to believe in a version of yourself that hasn't been validated by external circumstances. It demands that you embody a state that seems contradicted by your current reality. Now let me show you exactly how these two words give you the power to make this leap with certainty, rather than blind faith, because when you understand what they truly mean, the shift becomes inevitable. Put in the comments, "I shift first," if you're ready to stop waiting for circumstances to change before you allow yourself to embody prosperity. The power of your inner state goes beyond just attracting circumstances. It literally creates the lens through which you perceive reality itself. When you're operating from a state of lack, from a consciousness of not enough, something fascinating happens in your perception. The world around you begins to conspire to validate that state. You suddenly notice every bill that arrives, every expense you weren't expecting, every person who seems to have more than you. Your lens is set to scarcity, so that's all you can see, even when abundance is present all around you. Someone could offer you an incredible opportunity, but through the lens of lack, you won't recognize it as opportunity. You'll see obstacles instead. You'll focus on why it won't work rather than how it could. You'll find reasons to stay safe in your familiar struggle rather than risk stepping into unknown prosperity. The lens doesn't just filter what you notice. It actively shapes what comes into your experience by determining what you're available to receive. But here's the revelation that completely transforms how you understand this entire journey. You're not actually creating your prosperity from scratch. Creation implies bringing something into existence that didn't exist before, building it from nothing through sheer force of will and effort. And that's exhausting because it positions you as separate from what you desire, working to bridge a gap between here and there. The truth is far more beautiful and far more immediate. You're not creating your reality, you're remembering it. This subtle distinction changes absolutely everything about your approach. When you're trying to create prosperity, you're unconsciously operating from the belief that it doesn't exist yet, that you need to manufacture it through techniques and strategies. That very premise locks you into lack consciousness because the foundation of your effort is, "I don't have this." But when you shift to remembering, you're acknowledging something profound. What you desire already exists. Not as distant possibility or future potential, but as present reality in a higher dimension of consciousness. Your job isn't to create it from nothing. Your job is to align with what already is, to tune your frequency to match the reality that's been waiting for you all along. This is why trying so hard actually blocks your prosperity. The effort itself is rooted in the belief that what you want isn't already yours. The struggle confirms separation, but remembering, true remembering, carries the energy of recognition rather than acquisition. It's the difference between hunting for something lost and suddenly recalling where you put it. Now, I want to reveal to you the exact moment when remembering becomes embodiment, when recognition transforms into lived experience, because this is where the two words finally make complete sense. Write in the comments, "I remember my prosperity," if you're feeling the shift from trying to create to simply remembering what's already yours. The moment remembering becomes embodiment is when you stop pushing against reality and start relaxing into it. All the struggle, all the effort, all the techniques you've been employing have been forms of pushing, trying to force the universe to give you what you want, attempting to manipulate circumstances into alignment, working to prove you're worthy enough to receive. But that entire approach is built on resistance, on the belief that reality as it currently exists is wrong and needs to be corrected. What happens when you shift from creating to remembering is a profound relaxation. You're no longer fighting against what is. You're recognizing that your desired reality already exists in perfect completion. It's not waiting to be built. It's waiting to be acknowledged. And in that recognition, in that moment of remembering who you truly are and what's already yours, by divine inheritance, the struggle ends. Not because you gave up, but because you finally understood there was never anything to struggle against. Your prosperity isn't something you need to earn through worthiness or extract from a reluctant universe through perfect technique. It's your birthright, your natural state, the reality that's been held in trust for you since before you were born. The only thing that's been blocking it is your forgetting, your belief that you're separate from it. your conviction that it needs to be created rather than claimed. And this brings us to the principle that Florence Scovel Shinn understood so deeply, the truth that cuts through all the spiritual noise and manifestation confusion. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. These 8 words contain the skeleton key that unlocks everything. They explain why some people seem to effortlessly magnetize prosperity, while others work incredibly hard and remain stuck in the same patterns. The people who manifest with ease aren't using better techniques. They're not visualizing more clearly or affirming more consistently. They're simply being the frequency of what they desire. They've embodied the state of prosperity so completely that it's no longer something they're reaching for. It's who they are. And because the universe responds to being rather than wanting, it mirrors back circumstances that match their state. The ones who struggle, despite all their effort and spiritual knowledge, are caught in the trap of wanting. They desire prosperity intensely, but their core identity remains rooted in lack. So they attract more experiences of lacking, more circumstances that confirm they don't have what they want, because that's the state they're broadcasting, regardless of what they're consciously wishing for. Now, after everything I've shared with you, after laying this entire foundation of understanding, you're finally ready to receive the 2 words that collapse all of this wisdom into a single declaration of truth. Type in the comments, "I am ready," if you can feel yourself standing at the threshold of complete transformation, ready to embody rather than seek. The 2 words that have the power to transform your entire relationship with prosperity, to collapse time, to bridge the gap between who you've been and who you're meant to become, are simply this: it's already mine. Say them out loud right now. It's already mine. Say them again, slower. This time, letting each word sink into your consciousness. It's already mine. Feel what happens in your body when you speak these words from a place of genuine conviction rather than hopeful wishing. There's a shift, isn't there? A subtle but unmistakable change in your energy, in your posture, in the very frequency you're broadcasting. These words aren't just another affirmation to repeat mindlessly. When spoken from the right state of awareness, they don't change what you believe. They change who you are. They end the version of yourself that's been seeking, searching, waiting for prosperity to arrive someday when you've finally done enough or become worthy enough. They dissolve the identity that thought the prize was waiting at some distant finish line that you had to struggle to reach. It's already mine. These 3 words collapse the entire journey into a single moment of recognition. Not recognition of something new, but remembering of something that's always been true. Your prosperity isn't coming. It's not on its way. It's not dependent on circumstances aligning perfectly or you finally mastering the right techniques. It's already yours, right now, in this moment, before any external evidence appears. And this is where December's unique energy becomes so incredibly powerful. This month isn't just the end of another year on your calendar. It's your personal threshold, your portal, the sacred space between who you've been and who you've now decided to be. December holds the frequency of completion and new beginnings simultaneously, making it the perfect energetic container for this level of transformation. The version of you who speaks these words with full embodiment, who declares from the depth of their being that prosperity is already theirs, isn't waiting for permission from the universe or validation from circumstances. They're not postponing their state of abundance until the bank account reflects it. They're embodying their desires now, in this present moment, regardless of what the external world shows. They've made the shift from seeking to being, from hoping to knowing, from someday to already. Now I want to show you exactly what happens in your reality when you begin operating from this state, when these words become more than a declaration and transform into your lived identity. Share in the comments, "It's already mine," if you're ready to claim your prosperity this December and step into the version of yourself who knows rather than hopes. If you're still with me right now, if you've journeyed through every word of this message, that's not coincidence. Something in you recognized the truth we've been exploring together. You're not just a casual viewer who stumbled upon this video. You're someone who's genuinely ready for the transformation December is offering you. I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel if you feel called to continue this journey with me. What we explore here isn't surface-level content. It's deep wisdom designed to fundamentally shift how you experience reality, delivered in a way that actually lands in your consciousness rather than just passing through your mind. When you subscribe, you're choosing to surround yourself with this frequency consistently, and that choice alone begins to rewire your relationship with prosperity. Leave a comment right now and simply write, "This message was meant for me," if you can feel that these words found you at exactly the right moment in your journey. Your declaration isn't just for me to see. It's a commitment you're making to yourself, a marker in your consciousness that says you're ready to embody this truth. And if this resonated with you, if something shifted as we move through these ideas together, take a moment to leave a like on this video, not as a favor to me, but as an acknowledgement to yourself that you're committed to this new way of being. There's a video right here that takes this understanding even deeper, exploring exactly how to maintain this state of "it's already mine" when circumstances seem to contradict it. Click and continue with me there, because the journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning to unfold